Hi guys, I hope you guys are all doing well and you've had a great week. So today I thought we could do our part 2 here in the open, at least enjoy some air. I hope the breeze will not be too much and cause you guys not to be able to hear. So let's jump right into our part 2 of taking action. Yeah, so if you want to take notes, get ready. I got some nice response from you guys. I'm very grateful about that. At least you feel like the topic is relevant. Yeah, it's quite helpful to you guys, which I am very happy about. So moving forward, now that you have acknowledged that taking action is important, now what's the next step? What is plan 2? It doesn't matter how much you've been reading or how much research you've been doing. Basically, the next thing that you must do is establish how to start putting into action what you've been reading about, right? So the most important thing, I think, is to know, to decide, to determine what you need to take action on. What area are you working on most? What's the most important thing you want to do? You have to have specific areas in your life that you know you need to work on. Yes? Is it maybe your eating habits? Perhaps you know that you're eating things that are causing you to be sluggish and leaving you feeling lazy all day, so you're not able to do what you want to do. Maybe it's your sleeping pattern. You continuously sleep late, so you're not able to be fresh in the morning or get up at the time you want to determine, to make your day successful. So whatever it is, you need to be very clear on what problem you're trying to solve, on what your issue is, so that when you're making your plans, when you're making your action plan, at least you're able to see improvement as you go along. And we need to remember that change is never easy. It's never easy to come up with a different style from what you're accustomed to doing. So once we're prepared that it's going to be work, we will expect the setbacks and we will not feel like we need to quit as soon as the first thing goes wrong. Yeah. Guys, it's quite chilly. There's a bit of a breeze. It's not cold per se. My sweater's warm, but I hope the breeze is not going to swallow the whole sound. Okay, so let's go on. After you've determined what you need to take action on, the next thing is to determine the necessary steps of action. What is it that you need to do? You have to differentiate between doing impulsive stuff that is just all over the place, haphazard, and actually having well-directed, well-coordinated, thought out plans, because that is the one that is going to bring you success in your life, in the areas you want to work on. Before you jump into taking just some impulsive moves in the wrong direction, and then you'll have to come and start trying to recorrect and do everything back again. Before you do that, take a moment and identify what actual action do you have that will give you, what action can you take that's going to give you the intended result. Because if you put a little thought into it, you can think about what you're currently doing, how that has put you in the position you're in, and what you now can do to get yourself out of it. Because you have to be conscious that this is what is causing the problem, right? You need to be sure. So at least you have to know how your current actions are causing you to be where you are, where you don't like, so that you can know what to replace. If, for instance, you know that sleeping late causes you to wake up late and feel tired and all of that, you can identify that sleeping late is your problem in that area. So you know that changing your sleeping pattern is one of the first things that you can work on in order to get different results. You understand what I mean? Yeah, so that's what identifying the necessary steps will be. So you can, for instance, say, I'm going to now set a time to sleep earlier. I'm going to do certain things that will free me up earlier. Maybe you push things up from the way you used to do it so that you're able to do all you need to do that you think is important, what you like doing before you get to sleep, so that you can sleep early. And you know, these things are not things that are going to stress you. You start with small steps, do a few things here and there, and with time, you build up the habit that you want to build up, you know. So that's another point which I would think is important for us to look into. There's a quote here that I thought was very appropriate for our topic. What we think or what we know or believe is in the end of very little consequence. The only consequence is what we actually do. So if you have a belief or you have thoughts, opinions on certain things, if you don't do anything about them, if you don't act on them, really, that's all they are. They just remain thoughts. You know, they're not going to be very helpful to you. When you take action, not only are additional resources coming your way because of what you've put into the universe, but you also get feedback that allows you to now take the steps you need to change. Because if you know that when I try this, this happens, you now see the consequence, so you can be able to decide what are you going to do next. You can be able to refine your approach. You see, and as you continue doing that over time, just go getting better and better, and you find that you are able to change because of that taking action. So the importance of taking action is, it's the one thing that separates the winners from the losers, actually. Because many of us know, we know a lot about maybe how to make money, how to run that business, how to make certain things happen. You know, you have the knowledge about it. But very few of us, very few people actually go out and put into action that thing that they know. You see, so you'll find that it's just a handful of guys who actually have that abundance, that glory, and that satisfaction that this world has to offer because they are bold enough to go out and do it. It's not easy. It's not easy to actually just decide, okay, I'm going to do this thing, I'm going to face my fears. Nobody said it's going to be easy, but again, it's a kind of habit that once you start, you're able to progress. So let's look at how to start taking action. Let's say you've been saying to yourself, okay, I'm going to take this action, but the initial steps are kind of hard, you know, not really sure. How do you begin? Let's look into a few things I came up with when I was trying to research this topic. It's a simple fact that we're not rewarded in this life for what we know. Our rewards come for what we do. The action you take prompts that reward. You see, it's what we do that actually brings our reward. Many times we fail to take action on what we know we should or what we can do because we fear the consequences. You know, you feel like maybe you don't have the right or the permission to do this thing, or you're afraid of the failure. Many of us are really afraid of failure. But what you need to remember is that failure is not in and of itself a failure. Failing is not the end. You see, what we need is to find a way. I hope you guys can still hear me. What we need is to find a way to adjust our thinking to accept that failure is actually a way of learning by trial and error, so to speak. You see, because when you try, you know what can work and what can't. and you will never know if you don't try. So when you fail, you've just simply known that this doesn't work, you know. And if a lot of successful people realize that failure is an important part of the learning forward, they do, they look at it as failing forward, you know, because through the failure, it's a learning process. You learned something. And that lack of fear of failing is what makes them able to succeed. Because really, the only thing that's holding you back, us back, many times is, oh, what will I see? How is it going to look? What is going to happen when I fail? You know, that is what we fear the most, and it's what keeps us back. But in order to become better, in order for us to, you know, we need to stop being so afraid of failure and instead be willing to fail in order to learn and improve ourselves and get better. That's really all it is. So simply just get started, make mistakes, listen to the feedback you get, and then you can correct where you feel you need to and keep moving forward, reaching for your goal. Yes. Of course, one of the main benefits of taking forward, of taking action, is you attract positivity into your life. So the first thing you do is to ask for what you want. Don't be afraid to ask for what you want. Ask for what it is that you want. You know, be bold. You want something, ask for it. Just ask for it. The worst thing that can happen is that you'll be told no, and then you'll go somewhere else, ask for it again, and you'll say yes. You won't fail countless times. After you've asked for what you want, the next thing is that you believe that what you've asked for will come about. Let's say it's something you're asking for, even maybe not from a human, maybe you're asking for it in prayer. Believe that it's going to happen. If you know that it's according to your purpose, it is according to what you believe in your faith. Just know and believe, trust that it's going to happen. Trust it because you create vibes. You create positive emotional vibes, and that is what draws from the universe the thing that you actually want. So, in many instances, I know myself I have cancelled out my potential favor because I would say a lot of negative things after prophesying something positive or praying in the positive, even maybe asking if it's a person, and then I'll go back and have so much doubt that I just jinx myself. I just mess up all my good luck, you know, through negative talk. So believe that it will come about and then start like meditate on that positive thing because you draw it to yourself. When you're in action, doing research, connecting with people, finding ways to accomplish your goals, what are you actually doing? You're sending out powerful positive signals that you believe this thing you're searching for is going to come to pass. So you're actually allowing, you know, the powers that be, the universe, God, everything to work in your favor and allow that thing to come true. So again, you have to put your mind, you have to engage your mind into it, even as you speak and ask. Go back now and just think, put out positive energy. Don't allow yourself to jinx yourself like I would so often do before I learned some of these principles. Um, Now, how you can come to take action, there's something called the rule of five that I came across from Jack Canfield's weekly newsletter. It's a powerful strategy to get you into action and keep you in action, and it goes something like this. Every day, do five things that will move you closer to your goal. Have five concrete action steps. Write them down. Writing them down is everything, guys. Write them down. Five things every day that will move you closer to your goal. You want to buy that house. Write down step one. Is it savings? Is it what? Is it talking to the realtor? Is it what you need to do? Do you need to make a call? And five things. If you're self-employed, Do 5 things to grow your business. I love this one. I love this one. Do 5 things that will help you grow your business. If you need to reach out to someone, yeah, every time I'm able to talk to someone who I thought was a definite no, almost 9 out of 10 times, that person, even if they will not say yes, I'm making an order for this product, they will give me a day. Right now is not good. Contact me on such and such a day. And you come back like, yes, and you think to yourself, what if I hadn't approached this person? And maybe getting the nerve to even go to the office and talk to that person. Maybe you're presenting a document, you want to do some supplies for a company. Approaching those guys can be very nerve-wracking, but once you do it and then get something hopeful, it might not be an immediate yes, but there's always that positive feedback. Very often you will get something that will encourage you and you will never regret trying, at least taking that step. If, for instance, you want a promotion at work, do 5 things a day to improve your skill. Maybe the course required to move to the next level. Not regarding that someone is there, because there's always someone where you want to go. There's no vacancy in this world. There's no space that's just empty. So read what you need to do. Read up. That other person is also reading up to move. When that space becomes free, you'll be prepared. Or even if you're not, at least you had started working on your goal. You can present to whoever is the decision maker and say, I've done this and this. I've reached so far in filling that place, So, do 5 things. Do 5 things to improve your knowledge on that promotion, on that spot that you want. Because if you just sit there and you don't do anything, you're not taking action. You can't go and say fire this person and take three. We're not talking about being ridiculous, we're being realistic here. But when you've worked on yourself, a lot of time these things require our work to be on us. I've changed position a bit. I don't know if you guys can still see me. I'm now closer to the B area, but the other side was a bit too windy. I don't know. Let's see if this will work out a bit better since we're concluding. So I was saying, like, if let's say you want to do something that involves marketing yourself to schools, or let's say, heads of departments or type of things like that, you could write letters. You could write letters and introduce yourself to them. Write 5 letters. Say you're going to make a list and target the people you're going to write to. At least introduce yourselves so that they know that you're there and doing that kind of thing. You've reached out and opened an opportunity for yourself, right? If, for instance, you're doing like a blog, you can send out articles to companies who probably feature the same type of thing. You guys can see my spinach really happening behind there. I actually have the, what do you call them? The cowpeas, the cowpea leaves over here. You can see them here. I'll be doing something, I think, tomorrow. I'll record. I want to harvest them, so I'll do that for you guys. You can be able to see that at a later date when I'm able to post it. So if, for instance, you do something like a blog, or you want to work with brands, put out something like something that you can send out to companies. Target 5 companies or do 5 articles, send them to different brands, introduce yourself, and you never know, maybe that's something that's going to create for you an opening that you'll be able to work with them. They might decide to sponsor your next video, or the next blog. You could get products that you could use at a fairer price. Something at least that's pushing your business out there, you know, moving you along. That's something that you can do. So try and practice your 5 things a day habit for at least a month. By the time you're getting to about 3 weeks, that's like 21 days that is required to form a habit, right? That's what they say. Not only will you have taken a major action plan, you'll have taken major action towards your life goals, you will also have developed a new habit of being proactive, yeah, and creating, sorry, I kind of stepped on what I've placed it on. So you will also have developed a new habit of being proactive, which once it gets into your system is something that you can incorporate in all areas, and you don't wait for, instead of reacting, you're now responding, yeah, to things as they come. So I thought that's something I read in that newsletter from Jack Canfield, and it's easy enough to incorporate. I felt it's something that wouldn't be very hard, and it would be a nice thing to share. So just remember, guys, that without action, nothing happens. Nothing happens without action. So till next time, thank you so much. It became a bit longer than I thought, but thanks so much for watching, for being here. You know the drill. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Give it a like if you enjoyed it. Leave me some comments down below. Let me know how you're finding the whole process of taking action. Have you started? Have you written a plan on how you're going to go about it? To be honest, I've just barely begun myself, but at least I've begun. I'm working on mine. I do want to reach out to a few brands and see what they require, how that goes. That's something I'm looking into doing. And I discovered you don't really need to have so many subscribers to, you know, to work with some of them. So that's at least one of the things I'm working towards. And of course, a few others which maybe I'll be sharing later on. You guys give me one of the ones you're doing. Put it in the comments. Let's see how we can, you know, compare notes and encourage one another in this action plan thing. It's actually more enjoyable than it sounds, and once you start, there's such a good feel about doing something, making waves, you know, making moves towards helping yourself, that it's really worth it. So as seen, I don't know how you say Sean, I don't know how you say this name, R-E-I-C-H-L-E, Sean Reichel. He has this quote that says, doing nothing gets you nothing. Let's make sure that's not us in this year. Let's make sure that's not us in this year. So the next time you decide to read an article and read and fill yourself with head knowledge and you're not doing anything, remember that. Remember that doing nothing gets you nothing. Do something, even if it's going to flop. Do something. You'll have known what not to do. If nothing else, you'll have known what not to do. So, you guys, I will see you the next time. Thank you so much for watching. Many blessings. Enjoy your month of January as it's going on, and be blessed. Bye. Look out for the gardening video next, for those of you who enjoy gardening. Let's go organic, guys. Let's go organic. Bye.